Hey, what's shaking, bacon? I hope you're doing well. So I'm going into a 3-day saltwater fast. Now, in the saltwater, there's a bit of a recipe, and I want you to know it. So I'm doing this. Some people expressed interest in following along with what I'm doing. So I want to make sure that you know exactly what I'm doing. So if you want, you can do it yourself. This is how it goes. And I want you to keep in mind, the fellow who created this, his name's Cole Robinson. He highly recommends that you don't have more than this potassium intake. So this potassium I'm taking is new salt. Now in the States, I think it's easier to get your hands on a product called no salt. And the only ingredient is potassium chloride. That's it. This is one of the 2 ingredients. So I've already taken the liberty to pour some into a little measuring cup. This is 2 teaspoons. I have a little bit extra in there, so I'm not going to put the whole thing in. I'm going to go just short. Now that meets your daily recommended levels of potassium in a day. So the thing is with potassium, you typically don't want to take too much. The next thing he recommends is 2 teaspoons of pink salt. Now, if you want to use Redmond's salt, all the more power to you. Whichever salt you feel comfortable using, he recommends this. So I want to just try and stick to this so I can say I gave it a fair shot. So here's my 2 teaspoons of pink salt. Though that's coarse, it will dissolve into the water. Now there's extra things I'm going to be doing just because I have a history of gout. So I'm going to be taking some baking soda and some apple cider vinegar throughout this 3-day challenge. The main goal of doing this is to fix my insulin resistance. Simple as that. And I'm giving myself some water fasts. If I enjoy it, I might do multiple water fasts just for a while, just to see how it goes. I'll be breaking it with carnivore and very, very, very small portions of protein while I do it. And I'll get into that as well in a future video. But when you go into your refeeding, you need to do it slow. Start with a bone broth and then a small amount of protein and fat. Simple as that. It's nothing complicated. Then, after you've done that and maybe had a couple hours or an hour gap between those 2 meals, give it another 2 hours or so, maybe 3 hours, and have a meal. I used to make the mistake of just breaking a fast with a huge meal, and it was reinforcing binging habits, and that's not good. And I like to think I've got that very much under control for the most part. So this is it. This is the snake juice. I'm still got to mix it up, and I'm going to keep it in the fridge. So apparently you're allowed to have as much fresh water as you are snake juice. So he doesn't want you topping that. If you're not very active, take it easy on the snake juice. If you start getting diarrhea, back off of the snake juice. If you're getting cramps, increase your snake juice. But don't increase it more than this 1 liter that we mixed together, because then you could be getting too much and that's potentially not safe. I'm not going to get into any of the science behind it too much because I haven't looked into it honestly in years. But I do know that's the recommended daily allowance for potassium and salt. So we want to keep to that. Now, if you want to stay active, you're going to have an easier time, not so much weightlifting, or heavy weightlifting, I should say, for long bouts of time, but you should have a pretty good time with long cardio, like walking or some light cardio when you're doing stuff like this. Ideally, try and stay active. See how you feel. And most importantly, if you're not feeling good, stop. There's nothing wrong with abandoning a fast if you're not feeling good. There's a difference between feeling uncomfortable and not feeling good. Learn the difference, know the difference. Don't go too far, okay? I'll touch base with you later. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.